The birth of this book was somewhat difficult. Peter and I've been badgering Peter to write this book for a number of years, and we eventually met in the Wellington Library, a neutral place so he wouldn't be disturbed, and no phones would ring, no faxes would come through, and we mapped out approximate chapter headings of Peter's life. There was going to be maybe 10 or 15 chapter headings. I think we stopped at about 37, and I went home, printed them off and sent them to Peter and said, good on you, mate, now this is the start, get on and start writing, it'll be a big seller. And about 3 months later I saw Peter and said, how you going, mate, with the writing? He said, listen, I've lost the chapter headings, could you send them to me again? But it's finished now, and it's done, and it's with us, and he is with us too, so we're very proud to have you here. Would you come on up? The interesting thing we found is that it's the story of your life, which I don't know if I expected that. I expected perhaps rugby stories, but this is a story of the many adventures. Those times you spent on those old boats, those merchant ships, the time you spent travelling in Canada, thrown out of Canada I think, all that time you lived in Chicago, plus other wanderings in various places associated with rugby. That's the key part of the book, I reckon. Fast forwarding here, who's the most interesting character you've met in your life? Who's the most unique character that you will point to and say, this guy, this woman is the most...
Right here, Keith Quinn.
Well, okay, here's the second most...
You know, well, I could say, on an Alitalia flight, leaving the Seychelles Islands at an altitude about 35,000 feet, and mixing a giant jug of vodka, tomato juice, a huge Bloody Mary. A voice behind me said, that looks good. I said, it sure is, mate. And if I might add, on this Alitalia flight, it was the papal flight, and standing behind me was His Holiness. So, I mean, he was such a good sport. He actually had a drink with us. There were about 25 of us. Have that man escorted out of the room.
Peter, who was of the All Blacks, who was the most intriguing of all the All Blacks you ever took photos of and travelled with?
Well, funny thing that I could, you know, nominate the Giants, the game, you know, the Meads brothers, Ken Gray, Gil Tremaine, and on. But one of the most, I think, one of the most honest players, excuse me, was Ian Legs Eliason. And most people, I bet in this room, very few people will be able to kind of nominate where Legs was from, Taranaki of course. But to me...
Karponga.
Yeah,
well,
good on you. He epitomised everything that in those days, before they became professional and ended up with a $250,000 or $750,000 in the hip pocket. Legs to me was always there, never complained, played Wednesdays if he was required, Saturdays. He, to me, was the warmest, friendliest, and I still think he stood, you know, he stood for what being an All Black, if you came from a lesser province, was all about. And mind you, I could see Piney saying, here, just a minute, move aside, big boy. About the times you came to my farm and nearly ate us out of house and home.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's talked enough. He'll talk to you as you... This is the man, Peter Bush.